All right, look, it's almost impossible for me to show you guys highlights of an offensive lineman. So I really hope that these highlights of Patrick Mahomes will do you guys justice, because we got some pretty insane news if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Before we get to the news, just wanted to let you know that I'm giving away a piece of autographed football memorabilia, meaning like a signed NFL jersey or a signed NFL football of a player of your choice. All you have to do to enter is subscribe and turn on my notifications and comment what you want in the comment section down below. If you could leave a like, that'd be great as well. And if you could follow me on Twitter and Instagram, we're going to be doing additional giveaways there as well. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? As I was recording this video, we got additional breaking news. News has just been coming out today, guys. Like, I have not even had an opportunity to eat breakfast yet, and it's in regards to the Cleveland Browns signing away a very important and vital piece of the Los Angeles Rams. You see, the safety with probably the greatest name in the NFL, John Johnson, has officially agreed to terms on a contract with the Cleveland Browns, signing for 3 years, $33.75 million with $24 million guaranteed. The former third rounder finally cashes in, and I love this deal for John Johnson and for the Cleveland Browns, because the Cleveland Browns have pretty much plugged in each and every hole that they have on the defensive side of the ball. I am terrified of this defense. As a matter of fact, they might be the top defense I draft in fantasy football. You're talking about a defense that features the likes of Myles Garrett, Sheldon Richardson, and Denzel Ward, who has an offense that features the likes of Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, and Odell Beckham Jr. I'm really excited to see what other moves that they're set to make in the offseason, but this is a very good start for Cleveland Browns fans, and a huge congratulations to John Johnson for being able to secure the bag. The New England Patriots have this knack of just somehow, some way finding remarkable talent in the middle rounds of the NFL draft. As a matter of fact, sometimes they're more successful in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th round of the NFL draft than they are in the 1st, which is really interesting if you ask me. A nice example of this would be the New England Patriots 2016 NFL draft haul. You see, their 2nd round pick was Cyrus Jones, their 3rd round pick was Joe Thuney, and then their 2nd and 3rd round pick was Jacoby Brissett. And here's the interesting thing. Joe Thuney ended up being probably the best player out of that entire group. As a matter of fact, he was remarkably coveted this offseason, and once again, bear in mind, it's really hard to measure how good a player is in the offensive line, so we're actually going to be using Pro Football Focus. So Pro Football Focus grades Joe Thuney as a 74.2 overall player, a 73.1 in pass blocking, and a 70.2 in run blocking. He played 980 offensive snaps, 511 pass block snaps, 469 run block snaps, only had 3 penalties, allowed 2 sacks and 2 hits and 17 pressures. In a season that he didn't really have much offensive line help, in an offense that wasn't really that good. So if you put all of that together, and if you really think about it, that's incredibly impressive for an offensive lineman. Now, I have come down hard on the Kansas City Chiefs for the fact that if you watch the Super Bowl, you didn't have to be a genius to realize why Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs lost that Super Bowl. You went into a Super Bowl where you tried to play the long game, try to air out the deep ball when 2 of your offensive linemen were injured, and on top of that, you were going up against the top pass rush in the entire NFL. At the end of the season, the Kansas City Chiefs also kind of shook the NFL when they said, hey, our 1st round pick in 2013, Eric Fisher, that just suffered a torn Achilles, we're going to cut him. And Mitchell Schwartz, we're also going to cut him. So there's holes on the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then people are starting to look at Patrick Mahomes like it's his fault that he decided to sign a 10-year, $500 million contract, which resulted in the Kansas City Chiefs having to do some salary cap cuts, which involved his offensive line, which just really seemed weird, because that's the main reason that I believe the Kansas City Chiefs ended up losing the Super Bowl. But the Chiefs responded in a pretty big way because they went out and they got the best offensive line free agent. You see, Joe Thuney is signing with the Kansas City Chiefs on a 5-year, $80 million deal. Wow. This means the top offensive lineman is off of the board, and the Kansas City Chiefs have officially made a move in this year's free agency. This is definitely a big blow if you're the New England Patriots, but there's no way that the Patriots would have been able to give Joe this type of money, especially considering the fact that they made all these other moves so far in free agency. And honestly, if you're a Patriots fan, I wouldn't necessarily be so worried because Nate Solder, Trent Brown, which you recently got back, and now Joe Thuney went ahead and left the New England Patriots to sign record-setting offensive line contracts since 2018. So you guys have a pretty good track record of drafting and developing offensive line talent. But nevertheless, I think this is remarkable if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan because this is absolutely necessary. Protecting number 15 behind a very good offensive line should have been the focal point of the Kansas City Chiefs offseason, and I really hope they address this position even further with their final pick in the NFL draft. So if you're a Chiefs fan, let me know what you guys think about this move. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.